Revelation 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron. And her child was caught up into Elohim and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was war in Shamayim, or heaven. Michael, or Michael, and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought, and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in Shamayim, or heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
Satan deceiveth who?
The whole world.
So if he deceiveth the whole world, would that include Yashra'al? Or has Yashra'al been delivered? So remember, he's giving Yashra'al what? Wings to flee where?
To the wilderness.
Into the wilderness. But you see all this calamity and everything going on around Yashra'al, but he has already what? Prepared a place for Yashra'al. He has prepared a place of safety for Yashra'al. And you see all of this calamity and war and stuff going on around her. Go ahead, Arthur. You start that verse, right?
All right, let me just start back at 9 again. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in Shamayim, or heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of Elohim and the power of Mashiyach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which has accused them before our Elohim day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she may fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, times and a half a time, for the face of the serpent, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
So when we see this right here, what's going on? Are these literal floods? So what is the serpent? Who's the serpent, first of all? Okay, Hashatama, so is this going to be a literal serpent, or is this a ruler of nations? He's a ruler of nations, And what is this flood that this ruler nation is sending out after the woman? It's armies of the other nations. It's armies of the other nations. And he, you stopped at 15,
I'm at 16.
16, okay, go ahead, read 16. Well, matter of fact, you mind starting back at 15, then 16?
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he may cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim.
He was wroth with the woman. Listen now. And he went to make war with who?
The remnant.
The remnant of her seed. And what's so special about the remnant of the seed? What is it about them that he wants to make war with them? Read it again, folks. He just read it for you.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. You want me to read up a little bit more?
No, right where you are now.
Good?
Yeah, right where you are now.
Okay, 17, I'll read it again. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments.
Which keep the commandments. He was wroth, angry at the woman, and wanted to make war with the remnant of her seed, those that what? Keep the commandments. But don't you hear people say they've done away with all the time?
Question, Lord. What is the earth?
What is the earth shall help the people? Okay then. What did it say the earth was going to do?
Swallow the flood.
Okay, you remember when we were out in the wilderness and we were disobedient? And sometimes the punishment, because the punishment was always there, depending on what the law that was broken. You don't remember the Most High opening up the earth? And he would swallow how many at a time? 20,000, 30,000? And these were Israelites that he would swallow. Because remember, we even talked about, and I'm going to go, I guess when we get into Revelation, one of our key signs to know or to signify the coming of Yahuah is there's going to be an earthquake. But it's the only time in Scripture when it talks about this earthquake and it gives you a specific number of how many casualties it's going to be. And how many did he say?
Like 7,000.
7,000. Because remember, we look at these nations as people. These are the armies of the nations. But the Most High, he used the elements and all. All of that is his army. The Malachim, the oceans, the earth, hurricane, tornadoes, the sun, an eclipse. Because if he caused the sun to darken, guess what happens? You have a loss of energy. You know, everything operates by energy. So this is what we're looking at. But you see, he always has a place of escape or a place set apart, set aside for what? For the woman or the nation of Yashra'al, and he nourishes you. We haven't yet read yet in Pt4, Sharon, or any of these places where he said the woman is going to go without or be lacking and suffering. You won't find that. So with that being said, we're going to call it to a close right here. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. At this time, we're going to call up our Chief Elder Gabar, Yahuah, and he's going to pray us. No, he's going to blow the shofar, and Shlomo Solomon to you Greeks, and he's going to pray us out. Is it going to pick you up?
Yep.
Okay.
Hallelujah.